but for 400 million bucks, I don't know, like, what are they doing?
The CGI must be insane.
It's interesting that they put this amount of money into the movie, because the first movie only, like, its budget was $12 million. So, like, this is insanely a lot higher, even though it's for a trilogy. So you can break it up, but even then, it's still a lot. It's a lot of money, and it's being helmed by the director of Halloween Kills and the new Halloween movies, David Gordon Green. And it also sees the return of Ellen Burstyn with Leslie Odom Jr., who, that's pretty interesting. That's a good bit of casting. I haven't seen Ellen Burstyn in something in a while. I think the last thing I saw her was in Interstellar. And she was good in that for like the little minute clip she's in, but she's just a good actress in general.
Yeah. I'm looking to see that too. Leslie Odom Jr. In joining this film, like, this will be another big step in his career.
He's in Knives Out too as well, I think.
Exactly. With the budget behind it, like, he's in for a huge, like, next couple of years. And to me, he's been like the biggest breakout star from that whole Hamilton craze, which just happened.
For sure.
Like, Leslie Odom Jr. is just like skyrocketed.
Him and Anthony Ramos, is that Ramos?
Yeah, Ramos.
Yeah, they're definitely the breakouts from and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like, obviously he's pretty popular too. But it's exciting times for him. I mean, he just came off his Oscar-nominated role in One Night in Miami, playing Sam Cooke. So he's definitely got the ability. And I like the range of it too. Like, I like the fact that he's doing this whodunit thing. Next thing he's going to arguably the scariest movie of all time. Some people say, So
he does have
to see what happens.
He does have a nice little what's the list behind it? Like, catalog of films that he's done, and you can tell filmography. That's the word. Yeah. I was like, cinematography. That's not great. And then I was about to say cinematography, and I was like, no, that's not right either. But he's got, like, you can really tell he puts a lot of focus into what he chooses to do, and he does what he likes, and he's not ashamed to do, I guess, a movie that he wouldn't be into. Like, I feel there are a few actors who are like, oh no, I won't do that genre, even though they might like that genre. I feel with him, he's like, well, if the movie's interesting, if I like it, I'm going to do it. Like, he's not afraid to go different directions artistically and as an actor.
I will say one thing is that I think this movie will be his first leading movie. Like, in One Night in Miami, he's in an ensemble. So you're not carrying the film, and there's a bunch of you carrying it. And then with Knives Out, it's another ensemble film. And I don't know if he'll be the lead in it, but he's definitely, like, he's in this massive ensemble that's got this great list of actors. And in this movie, it's so far only him and Ellen Burstyn. So, and she's quite old. So I don't think she's going to be leading the movie. I mean, she probably could. It'd be interesting to see if she can. But personally, I don't think
they're definitely going to go with this amount of money that's being pushed into it. I think they're going to go with the younger, more superstar kind of actor in this moment, like where he's on an upward trajectory. For sure, he's going to be the lead, and they're going to look for him to be the face of this trilogy.
Yeah, it's also interesting that the director of Halloween's doing it as well, because it's another franchise that kind of died after the original. Do you know what I mean? Like, the first Halloween was really good, and then the sequels haven't been as great up until the recent remake.
Yeah.
So, and same thing with The Exorcist. Exorcist was good. Exorcist 2 is, like, considered one of the worst movies of all time. Exorcist 3 is okay. And then there's a TV show that came out a few years ago, which wasn't too popular. It's not too bad, but it wasn't too great. So this will be interesting to see. And I think it's a direct remake to the original. I think from what I read, I remember reading that it's only really off the first one, which is kind of similar to what they did with the new Halloween movies, is that it's only a sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
So makes it, it's cool. It's cool to kind of retcon all the other stuff and just go with what was the best version, and just to keep going ahead. It'd be interesting to see what kind of role he plays in it. I think he's playing a father, but maybe he's playing a priest, or like, I'm not too sure. But I mean, it's probably a year or two away, this movie.
For sure. I think 2 years minimum.
It's
just being announced. Yeah.
I mean, they've got a cast and they've announced it. Like they've got two leads and they've announced it and they've got a director. So they must be a bit further down the track than what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So it could come out in the next year and a half. That's the earliest I would see it.
Yeah.
But for $400 million, I don't know, like, what are they doing? And like, it must be some crazy visuals.
CGI, yeah. The CGI must be insane.
The cool thing about the original one is that, you know, it was all practical effects and it looked cool. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard to kind of pull that off nowadays, especially when you've got access to CGI. It can kind of make it, even though you got the access to it, doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the Lord of the Rings movies, and they were kind of all pretty much practical effects, anything. And all the like details were very, like all the armor and all that was practical, and all the orcs were all practical effects. Yeah. And they're all people. And then when you move to The Hobbit, it's all a bit more CGI. And to me, that didn't work as well as the original which was all practical effects. So it'd be interesting to see if they're spending a lot more money in CGI, or maybe it's location. Yeah. Because Ellen Burstyn and Leslie Odom Jr. aren't going to cost that much. Anyway, like,
no, I don't think at this moment
up there.
Career, no, it won't be no $20 million salary, but I do think I wouldn't say they're putting this much money in without knowing they're going to get a good return on investment. So I'm interested in seeing what they're able to put out and how they're able to build up that craze and that hype for this trilogy.
They're definitely going to get a lot of like asses in seats with the first one. But the first one has to be good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the first one isn't good and they've sunk money into a trilogy, I don't know. Hopefully they're not going to film them back to back to back. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise they're fucked.
Which is what we were talking about on our old podcast episode, maybe 5 or 6 ago. We were talking about best trilogies. And when you come into a project wanting to make a trilogy, sometimes it doesn't work out as well. But also I don't know. I'm hoping the first one's good, because if the first one's really good, the second one could be just okay, and then people are still going to go to the third one hoping for more. So yeah, there's a lot riding on this first movie, and hopefully they can pull it off, and hopefully Leslie Odom Jr. delivers a good performance. I
think they're going to film it back. I mean, this is just my going off my gut instinct, but I think they're going to film it back to back to back.
Yeah, right.
I just have a feeling that, because that's what they did with the recent Halloween movies, is that they filmed them pretty soon after they'd finished the first. Like they went in straight away. They already had the scripts for them and everything. Yeah, which is, it's a risk, because if the first one's shit, then the other one's a shit too. Yeah, like, because they've been filmed the same. Do you know what I mean? Like it's. I mean, there might be some slight improvements, or maybe they're shitter. Like, who knows? But yeah, more or less they won't be as. If one's bad, then they're all shit. Kind of.
Yeah. I get that.
But it's interesting. It's cool. Like, I like The Exorcist. I think it's a really, really good movie. Yeah. Obviously it's like not, I don't think it's the scariest movie I've ever seen, but it's just a really good movie nonetheless. Like, the acting is quality. Yeah. The practical effects are amazing. And just like reading about The Exorcist too, like it's just interesting, like how they made it. And it's a great movie. Great cinematography, great score. It's really good. I highly recommend it if anyone hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this for sure. But yeah,
you horror fan.
You stick it or flick it?
Yeah, I stick it, absolutely. I think 400 million it's a bit excessive. I don't know what they're spending it on. But
it better be a stick for $400 million.
Oh, well, you fucking better hope so. Because otherwise, that's, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, I'm sticking it for sure. So
same.
I guess that wraps up our Flick or Stick news show for this week. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for the next Flick or Stick show next week before our podcast in a few days' time. So see you guys then, and have a good day, John.
See ya.